Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así? Así.
Thank you, God, for this day. We have lived everything in our life, our health, our family, the guidance you have given us, allow us guidance to the path of righteousness. Amen.
Really, I'ma get that bitch. Revenge is a dish best served cold. She took my son, now my soul is cold. He took my daddy, now my soul is old.
Yeah, man.
That's hot shit right there, man.
So what we gonna do? We gonna dub?
King Chaka ENT. Y'all can check out the music on Spotify, Apple, and other services. Doing what we do 3 to 4 nights a week. King Chaka ENT.
I got this.
From the
She
back
starts
seat.
shooting.
That dude was like, ow.
What was that?
Outside the car,
That nigga
deputies'
got
body
popped.
cameras capturing the bullets flying through the air.
We got shots fired
couldn't
up
have been
here.
a straight
We need
shot. It had
backup
to be-
immediately. Start
Are you-
EMS. Start EMS.
What
We got
the
a
fuck?
civilian. We got a civilian hit.
The deputy.
Looks like we got us another hit. Yeah. Woke up.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, an educated public cannot be controlled. Learn to be active. The views and events expressed here are totally whacked and are not necessarily the views of anyone. Punished for speaking the truth. Punished for speaking the truth. So what's the most offensive thing you can say? You know? Is it calling someone something that they're not? Like some derogatory name? You know? Is it slandering them, like saying something that's totally not true in the media? Those are pretty bad. But what's the worst thing you could say to someone? I think the worst thing you could say, when I say the worst thing you could say, what I mean is what can be the most offensive? What hurts the most? The most offensive thing. The most offensive thing is the truth about somebody, especially if you really know them. And you're actually speaking the truth. And it strikes their soul. That I think is the most offensive thing you can say to someone is a truth that they are, embarrassed of, a truth that they don't want out, a truth that they don't want spoken, a truth that does not look good, you know what I'm saying, on them. But, depending on their perspective, because it could also be a positive thing. It's just that it would be the same as far as they don't want it revealed. They don't want it spoken. They don't want it said, It could be really offensive. So, punished for speaking the truth. It seems like, in public or in the media, wherever you go around, when you're talking to people, you're totally comfortable. Most people are totally comfortable, embellishing things, saying things that aren't really true, especially when it comes to themselves, but about anything really. And oh, they got the game they call bullshit. People, the best liars are the ones that win these games. And the most convincing lies are the ones that have little speckles of truth in them. And you don't know which way it goes. That's the other part of a really good bullshitter. It's 50-50. It becomes 50-50, so it could go either way. But speaking the truth, punished for speaking the truth, our society is totally fine with you lying. But if you say something that's way too true, especially like, let's say, for example, let's say you're a United States citizen and you born and raised in the United States, your family, parents, grandparents, born and raised in the United States, and you feel like, there's something, you point out something that's bad about the United States, and it's true. Even though you're a United States citizen, because you're a United States citizen, it's going to hurt, right? And I think a lot of people will react negatively. What I mean is, when you tell the truth about things, you tend to get punished. That's all. I mean, I'm losing my train of thought now because I'm looking at the damn screen and shit. Anyways, look at this. This is the giant dome of Jakarta Islamic Center Grand Mosque in Indonesia. Has collapsed after major fire broke out. Officials say there were no victims. Yeah, I don't know anything more about it, but just the image of this mosque coming down like this after being burned is pretty freaking. I feel like we're in Revelation, man. I feel like the Revelations, I'm not no freaking what do you call it, end of the world type of person. I don't believe in that anyways. Everything is cycles. So I don't believe in that anyway. But that's how it goes though with the cycles. They flip and they turn around. And I believe there has been revelation in the past and there will be in the future. So, but I think that we're going through a moment. There's definitely a moment right now. And I think that revelations is a good word for it. But, people like to think of apocalyptic, into the world. But what it's really saying is, revealed, revealing, it's like awareness. They have this thing where they're talking about woke and the right is all like, the left woke and all of this. And then it kills me how all the conversations about whatever topic is always away from what like the intention of it is, like totally away from like the knowledge part of it, because the whole thing of saying woke, I don't ever say it. I don't like the term, but the point of it is to be awake, and not sleep, right? So that's not a left or a right thing at all, right? Anyone can understand that, like being aware of things versus not being aware of things, okay? So that's the base premise. But then we have this stupid culture war, political BS that gets it all twisted. Anyways, to be aware, I'm losing my train of thought like crazy tonight. I'm sorry, y'all. And I'm apologize for being late too. I don't know what the hell is up, man. I'm distracted right now. Let me move on so I can get my brain pumping and maybe I'll get back to it, the point. Because we will get back to it. The name of it is Punished for Speaking the Truth. So I'll have to explain that better. Kanye is all in the news, y'all. It's not a news cycle. It keeps going. It's getting more and more interviews. Like, I guess it's because of ratings, right? That's just how greedy they are. I think that that's what it is, you know? It's always like that in the stories, like the comic books or whatever. The bad guy is trying to, let's say, rule the world, right? But the very thing that the tool that it uses to apply its power ends up being the same tool that does him in every time. And I think that's it. So like capitalism, right? Just profit over everything, right? Profit as a religion. In God we trust. Profit over everything. But look, so the Kanye thing is interesting. This is something I just thought of. They're bleeding it because they just want to make money, right? It's like the people are like, oh, he's crazy, you know, but people are watching. It's getting clicks, it's getting views. So, and they're like, screw it. We don't care. You know, he can make himself look crazy as hell on our show. Come on, Kanye. You want to come look crazy? Come over here. Do it over here. You know? We finna cash some checks off of you. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. But look, here's the flip. At the same time, some of these people that's tuning in to listen to Kanye are not just there because they think he's crazy. Okay? Here's the kicker. Follow me. Some of these people are able to dissect what he's saying and looking past some of the, you know, edgy kind of, you know, hard to digest things because we're used to it anyways. This is how we talk anyways. So we're able to actually hear him, while a lot of people are not. So, and they're, oh, he's crazy. So, but then you got the ones that's tuning in. So boom, here we go. Capitalism. They just want to keep making money. They're spreading it around. Meanwhile, Kanye is getting his message out more and more people. It's kind of like the same thing happened with Trump. That's how he won the first time. That's how he won, because the media was trying to make fun of him. They was like, this guy's a joke. He's a clown. There's no way he's gonna win. There's no way anybody's gonna take him serious. Let's give him plenty of airtime and just let him make a fool of himself. It completely backfired. He won the presidency. That was not supposed to happen. That's the reason why things were so crazy, is because all of this stuff is set up. You know, Trump really was kind of a bit of an outsider. Like, he wasn't chosen. he muscled his way up in there off the muscle of them giving him billions and billions of dollars in airtime for him to get his message out to people, and he reached people and he resonated with them. Okay, Kanye is doing the same thing, and I'm not saying on the political side. This is more on the spiritual side, totally, because that's what he's talking about. And then one of the things he said about, like, anyways, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. I have to talk about him anyways, because everybody's talking about it. But let's mosey around to it.
Societally, you can tell men to get their shit together. You can be like, lose weight, dress better, you know, go to the gym, stop playing video games. You can be harsh with guys. If you take that attitude toward women, they're like crying. They're like, you are trying to degrade me. You're fat shaming me. They got all the words, like, you're a bigot. Like, they come at you and you're like, well, no, I'm just trying to tell you obesity is not healthy. Like, this is not a good decision. It's not, it shouldn't be glorified. But it's amazing that in society in 2022, there's an acceptance of criticizing men, which some of that criticism is warranted. Like, it needs to be said, but there's not this acceptance of criticizing women. Suddenly you're a bad person if you're pointing out flaws in women or problems with women that could potentially be leading to some of their unhappiness. You can say, like, societally, you can tell men to get their shit together. You can be like, lose weight, dress better, you know, go to the gym, stop playing video games. You can be harsh with guys. If you take that attitude toward women, they're like crying. They're like, you are trying to degrade me. You're fat shaming me. They got all the words like you're a bigot. Like they come at you and you're like, well, no, I'm just trying to tell you obesity is not healthy. Like this is not a good decision. It shouldn't be glorified. But it's amazing that in society in 2022, there's an acceptance of criticizing men, which some of that criticism is warranted. Like it needs to be said, but there's not this acceptance of criticizing women. So
I think she makes a valid point. And how did we get here? I don't know. And Kanye mentioned that too when he was talking about, what's her name? The chubby singing lady. I can't think of her name. I know her music is trash. And she was blowing on the flute. Damn it, I wish somebody was here. Anyways, Kanye was talking about her, and he's like, no, it's not cute. She's overweight. It's not healthy, And that's just calling it like it is. And oh my God, people was outraged about that. Like our outraged culture. They totally outraged about that. But I think that, what this lady is saying has a lot of merit there. It's kind of like something I've been trying to say. She articulated it very well, but there's flip sides to this also, because men taking on these, freaking emotional abuse, that's the thing what I don't like about our society. It's like the woman is a human and the man is a human. So we have a whole lot in common, okay? So as far as verbal abuse, let's say it is being verbal abusive, or you're doing it in a mean way, you mean to be mean, that thing hurts men just as well as it hurts women. I mean, really probably the same, but men supposed to pretend that it doesn't or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's because our society says that it's not supposed to bother you or whatever. You're a man, buck up, son. Let me read this caption. It says, and that's why the suicide rate among men is the highest. Majority of Black women see us as white men, and women see us as sacrificial slaves. Just look at the preference of most women. It's all based on making their life easier or putting the strain on men. Wait a minute. Let me stop right there, because freaking that's what that's kind of our biological freaking makeup right there. I mean, that's how it works. Let me read some more. It says, most of the modern day women lack any real nurturing skills to help you build nothing. The difference between the modern day woman and the good woman. Modern day women don't inspire, they emasculate. They don't turn you into better men, just a more toxic man. And they don't help you become financially stable. They just become another expense liability. I don't know, bro. I'm hearing a lot of bitterness in that comment right there. And it's incoherent at moments. But I agree with you about the emasculation happens. It happens a lot. I don't know what happened with that, how we get here, because we do have that emasculation, and maybe it's related to the patriarchy, like capitalism, like it's the backlash of it, it's like, oh, he's a man, nothing about he's a man, and there's nothing good about him. Men just think they can rule the world just because they're men. And so, but then there's a legitimate gripe where that's the home of where that root of where that's coming from. But I think that in our society, it's totally overblown and exaggerated to the point where it's freaking grotesque. That's what we do to everything. We blow everything up till it's grotesque. We take it to the extremist extreme till it's freaking sickening. And that's not okay. That's not okay. That's a sign of mental illness, That's definitely a mental health issue. Childhood trauma, whatever. Who knows? See a psychologist, because I can't call it, but that's what it is. Let me see. I'm trying to get around before I get to something else. This one, I found this little meme funny. I wonder, does it have music? Let's see. I don't remember.
The scariest gang, the whites. Why are they the scariest? Because you know they got a fair trial. So those dudes are real criminals. Yeah, that is scary. But the Latinos over there, the blacks, the scariest gang, the whites. Why are they the scariest? Because you know they got a fair trial. So those dudes are real criminals.
That is funny, bro. That is funny. Plies. What was Plies talking about? I can't even remember.
Y'all help me figure out something. I don't know if I'm just motherfucking tripping or if I'm reading this correctly. It's 2022. Two. And this country still refuses to put a motherfucking person of color, black people, African motherfucking American, on motherfucking paper currency. Yeah, money. I don't want to hear about no motherfucking coins and no motherfucking Maya Angelou. I ain't talking about no motherfucking coins. I'm talking about the same shit that they'll kill each other for. Some motherfucking the paper. 2022. Not one motherfucking black person still. So, am I interpreting this shit correctly? You gotta be saying you don't feel like we got no motherfucking value. That's why you ain't putting us on nothing a motherfucking value. But you got some motherfucking slave owners on the same motherfucking paper currency. Motherfucker who own slaves own the shit that this country care about the motherfucking most, and that's paper currency. You totally motherfucking fine with putting a motherfucking face on there that y'all want us to believe was a motherfucking hero and they own motherfucking slave. You can be a hero in this motherfucking country to certain people in this country, and you own motherfucking slave. You wouldn't put a motherfucker on that paper currency if he hadn't killed the motherfucking police. I bet you he wouldn't motherfucking be on there. As he shouldn't be on there, in my motherfucking opinion. But the mere fact you okay with putting motherfuckers on paper currency that own slaves, but you still refuse to put a motherfucking person of color and all the Harriet Tubman shit. The shit, her face was supposed to be on the currency when the goddamn orange motherfucker was the president. It was supposed to come out during his presidency. And he motherfucking stopped it. Son Steve Mnuchin out there to totally motherfucking delay the process to 2030. But y'all, because he gave you a little funk ass $1,500, he like motherfucking Santa Claus to you. So y'all help me figure out, am I motherfucking tripping or am I processing this shit the right motherfucking way? Hey, y'all help me figure out something. I don't know if I'm just motherfucking tripping or if I'm reading this correctly. It's 2022. Two.
Okay, we don't have to listen
in
to
this
it
country
again. His caption, he says, am I tripping or am I understanding this right? Slave owners worthy, but black folks aren't. I really think he has a good point. He does have a good point. You know, they want to say that there's no racism, well, there goes an example of racism right there. They're like, well, shoot, there wasn't no, it's founding fathers on the money shit. It wasn't no black people that was founding fathers. Okay. That's a fair argument, I guess. But the reflection of the United States from its inception was kind of multicultural, skin-toned. So, it would just be a token. That's how I would see it. But at the same time, for some people, it would see it symbolically, like he said, meaning that these people were worth something. And, I think it points to the whole heart of the United States, and where it's at. And it hasn't reconciled with its history. And that's part of the reason why, we have all of this going on right now. And then we're disturbing it all over the world. It's crazy because we got to deal with this thing here at home. We have to deal with this thing that we haven't reckoned with here at home. First, we're spreading that unbalanced, unfinished, unjust, let's say lifestyle or culture or way of being around the world. And it doesn't really work. It doesn't work. As you can see here at home, they have to continue to, pacify the people one way or another. They have to continue to give y'all cultural stuff to freaking argue about. They have to continue to give you boogeymans to blame, to keep you from reconciling with the truth and reconciling with your past. You have a huge blind spot. What kind of future can we have? What kind of future can we have when we have a huge blind spot? And then it's only getting worse. That's why this stuff has to snap back, because they've been pushing back against the CRT, if you will. And it's another reason why people are homeschooling their kids, and they're putting them more and more into these private schools. And most of these private schools are religious, and they don't teach evolution. They don't teach history properly. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive, but it's the truth. And so, but still, like, just because you want to deny something, that doesn't mean it didn't happen. And as a result, the effects, that's the reason why you have effects of that thing that you're denying that happened that you can't explain. It will be like magic. It's like something appearing in front of your eyes that you didn't understand. And you're like, why? The reason is because of this thing that you're ignoring. It's like if you got bit by something and you pretend that you didn't, and then it just keeps festering and boiling, and you're like, it's gonna get better. I just bumped it. No, you got bit by something and it's just gonna fester. Anyways, hold on. Let me play this.
Dangerous. By dangerous, that implies I should be ready to threaten someone, to hurt somebody.
No, you should be capable of it. But that doesn't mean you should use it. There's nothing to you otherwise. Like, if you're not a formidable force, there's no morality in your self-control. If you're incapable of violence, not being violent isn't a virtue. People who teach martial arts know this full well, right? If you learn a martial art, you learn to be dangerous, but simultaneously you learn to control it. Both of those come together. And the combination of that capacity for danger and the capacity for control is what brings about the virtue. Otherwise, you confuse weakness with moral virtue. I'm harmless, therefore I'm good. It's like, no, that isn't how it works. That isn't how it works at all. If you're harmless, you're just weak. And if you're weak, you're not going to be good. You can't be, because it takes strength to be good. It's very difficult to be good.
Man, I think he made a good point there. I don't always agree with that guy. Why does he look like he's buzzing? Why does he always look like he's buzzing on something? Like he just smoked some gas. He just smoked some gas or something. He always look like he's buzzing. Anyways, he made a good point right there. I think, we have this freaking weak ass freaking society, and it's our fault because we made everything so easy for everybody. You don't even have to think. You just freaking, the light says green, you go. Light's red, you stop. I don't have to think. It tells me everything. We're mindlessly scrolling on these freaking social networks. Just scroll. It's kind of the same thing on your email. Now, don't make yourself think that you're freaking special. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it's a lot of damn ads and shit on them damn emails too. Some of them emails are random as hell too. You just freaking mindlessly scrolling. It sucks because you have to check your damn emails. I hate that shit. It feels like a chore. But you have to do it. If I don't do it, I get in trouble. It happens all the time. I miss something that's fucking important as hell. So I have to check them hoes or bad things happen. But, it sucks. Freaking just sitting there scrolling. We're so weak, and what he said about what makes you strong is withholding that freaking angst, withholding that wanting to freaking destroy something and tear it down and burn it up. You know, that's the strong. Everyone always says that. The old folks will say that. They'll be like, oh, he's strong. You know, when they see you not like react immediately and attack or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because it's super easy. Your body just kind of jerks and your mind just automatically, somebody hits you, like you automatically just want to hit them back or whatever. Like, you know, but as you grow older, like once you've had children, you know, because your baby could have punched you in the face. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a little baby. And he's like, bah. But your immediate reaction is shit. You know what I'm saying? You got to get one back.
Don't play with me, baby.
But now you're an adult. So you realize that, wait, maybe I need to let this one slide, you know? So that's what I'm saying. What he was talking about in that, what's up, Pat? How you feeling?
No. Pretty good, man. So
I'm happy you was able to jump on, man.
Yeah, man, me too, bro. I forgot to set my alarm. I just
and I was fucking late. I got out of work late, so I got class in the morning, so I can't stay on here long.
Shoot, I gotta get up early too, so don't feel bad.
The name of the show today is Punished for Speaking the Truth. What do you think about that? And I was kind of waiting for you too, because Punished for Speaking the Truth, I'm really not specifically thinking of Kanye West, but he definitely inspired that title.
Well, see, look, I've been getting punished for speaking the truth. I don't have me and my dad don't talk anymore because of me and the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Like, it ain't just, it's not just the whole Kanye thing. It's really, some people look at, okay, the whole consciousness, I don't know, some people call it wokeism and this, that, and other stuff, but I say, consciousness has its rewards, because for somebody who's, still studying, like I'm, 46 years old, I still, find that I'm learning things that I didn't learn, new things and stuff that's old, history stuff. So it's like you kind of set yourself up, or you end up in, people just don't get it. And you may not, necessarily get punished, but you definitely can get looked down on, or like, oh, he's into that old, get talked about behind your back and all this other kind of stuff. So, and I think that's a lot of people don't really realize, what's really happening in the world. Like, there's so much stuff going on to where
it's crazy. And that's what I want to get to. Before I get to the Kanye West thing, did you see the video about the Kansas City guy who was killing the black women, and the community was telling them about, the cops about it and shit, and they was ignoring the damn community and shit?
I saw that.
Yeah, let me play some of this. I think
on October 7th, a 22-year-old black woman in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, escaped from a white man who she says held her captive in his basement for nearly a month, whipping, torturing, and raping her repeatedly. The woman fled and knocked on a neighbor's door for help after the man left the house to take his son to school.
About 7:30 a.m., I faintly heard a young female saying, "Help me."
Lisa Johnson was the first person to encounter the woman and to help rescue her. She told the Excelsior Citizen the woman was nearly naked as she pleaded for help.
It was actually like an S&M dress. It was plastic, black plastic, very short. It wasn't shorts. It was a dress. That's all she had on, and the duct tape around her neck and the collar. And it was restricted. It was a metal collar. It looked like a shot collar, a homemade one at that. I seen her wrists were pretty messed up and her ankles. Asked what she needed. It was obvious. I didn't really have to ask at that point. I just started looking. First thing I did was tell her I was calling the police. That kind of agitated her. She told her that if I called the police, that he would kill both of us if he found out. She said he already killed her 2 friends that she was with.
The woman who escaped said other Black women were killed by her abductor. She's not spoken publicly. She's not been named, but she helped break open a story that the Kansas City police had vehemently denied as community members raised alarm that Black women and girls were being disappeared in September, possibly by a serial killer. Police responded by saying the reports were, quote, completely unfounded. Some of the concerns were raised in a now viral video by Bishop Tony Caldwell of Eternal Life Church by the independent publication, The Kansas City Defender.
I am a little upset right now. The reason I'm upset is because we got 4 young ladies that have been murdered within the last week here off of 85th and Prospect. We got a serial killer again, and ain't nobody saying nothing. The media's not covering it. We got 3 young ladies that are missing. Ain't nobody saying a word. What is the problem? Why can't we get some cooperation? Where's our community leaders? Where's our activists? Where's our public officials? Where's our police department? Where is those folks at? In President Gardens. Come on now. We need to start knocking doors. We need to start making sure that this is brought to the light. We cannot continue to let this happen.
After that video went viral in September, the Kansas City Police Department spokesperson insisted there was, quote, no basis to support this rumor, unquote. But police have since arrested 39-year-old Timothy Hazlitt of Excelsior Springs, Missouri, for kidnapping and torturing the woman who escaped. The Kansas City Defender has reported on his social media post saying they show the sexual predator was, quote, a white supremacist who believed we are in a race war. On October 7th, a 22-year-old Black woman in Excelsior Springs, Missouri.
Yeah, man. Comments.
Well, this is kind of like this kind of reminds me of a conversation I was having a couple of weeks ago because I'm divorced, but I worry about because I'm on the road still, my ex and my son around, like I'm like, look, be careful. I sent her some videos. I was like, look, this girl's talking about how she almost got kidnapped at the Walmart parking lot, getting up and just running, this, that, and the other. And and I was just like, look, we in the partial conversation that I had with her, I kind of talked to her about some stuff because it's like, they talk about like the stuff that you see on the news, like they don't really talk about the real stuff that's happening. It's very selective. You hear about this, you hear about that. But I was like, bro, like there's a lot, I say bro, but I'm talking to her, it's like, look, they like Black women are getting kidnapped, human trafficked all the time, but you never hear anything about it. Like when you talk really, like it's only people who are true advocates that like kind of keep up with, the numbers and stuff. This is like something that's happening all the time and nobody is saying anything. So, I mean, yeah, this stuff, people talk about these types, talk about all these different things that's, in the news, but that's the stuff that they try to use, because I think this was a part of that whole Kanye thing. In the beginning, when he first did the shirt, I was like, well, yeah, the WLM. I mean, if people really have the discussion about, the cops are killing, and who's like, if you really look at the statistics, people get mad if you talk about it because the statistics doesn't reflect what reality is. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the reality should be what really pisses people off, but because they're used to a certain narrative, that if you say anything that's against that narrative, now you're the one that's trying to, that's like when they first came out with BLM, Black Lives Matter, then it's like all lives matter. You know what I'm saying? This is before these are even white lives matter. No, they're just like, look, all lives matter. Like, there's more shit going on than y'all even realize. But, right now, especially with black people, it's like, this is what, this benefits you. So, you're getting, grasping onto it. But what about, what I'm saying, the white people who are getting killed by cops and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be, you know what I'm saying, because I care about my black people, it's very important to me. But if I really speak out about the real stuff, then now I'm a coon.
Yeah. And there goes punished for speaking the truth. This guy said, if you act like a human, I'll treat you like a human. Like,
hey,
this guy is but that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. And like, what the kicker on this story is that it's like the people did the investigations and shit. Like, fucking the cops ain't doing shit. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is going on when you have the public telling you this thing that's going on, and then you obviously not following up on it?
Well, this reminds me of the whole Dahmer conversation.
Right.
Because it's like, this shit was going on for years. People calling the cops and reporting and stuff or whatever, and like they don't respond to it because they already know. Like, that's the part that is, it's really messed, like, it's screwed up that it, this is our reality. But, in that case, this was like black men coming up missing, because of whatever. But this, like, now when it's black people, you probably, like, you don't really, like, this can happen with, in a small community where people, like, pretty much know. Like I said, these cops pretty much knew what was going on. It's just that they didn't want to discuss it. Like, actually they went through the holes, like, well, these things are not, this is not proven, this is not founded information. So, and then they had to retract the same bullshit that people was telling them to come back and, pretty much not even really apologize, but just to have to come back and admit that what these people have been saying was 100% true. Same shit with, with Dahmer. Like, the woman was begging them, like, are y'all gonna come and respond? Like, y'all gonna do anything? And like, they would almost like laugh at her. So I don't know, man. It's insane.
Did you see the stuff about the voters getting arrested for voter fraud because they were told that they could vote after having a felony, but it wasn't true because they didn't fit. Some of the people didn't fit the exemption. There was a couple of exemptions that they didn't know about. Had you heard about that?
No.
Okay.
Boss, how's it going?
Oh my God.
All right. So I know you're caught off guard, but unfortunately that's how this stuff works, okay?
I'm like, what the hell? Okay. I'm like, voter fraud. I voted, but I ain't commit no fraud.
Well, so that's the thing. I don't know exactly what happened with it, but you do have a warrant. That's what it's for.
I got out. The guy told me that I was here to go vote or whatever. I got my time.
Yep.
I ain't owe nobody nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know what happened. All I know is that you have a warrant, and all it does is say you have a warrant, and I got to go arrest you.
You know, said guys that came to talk to me the other day.
Yeah.
They just tell me come in.
I don't think so. The warrant was just made yesterday, so
The guys talked to me 2 weeks ago.
yeah, I know. I don't know, man. I honestly couldn't tell you. Okay. So I got to do some paperwork, and
There's a bunch of these clips like this, and tend to be black folks. Let me read this. It says Romana Oliver, who served nearly 20 years in prison for second-degree murder conviction, was leaving to go to work in Tampa. Police officers arrested her, citing a warrant that charged her with voting illegally in the 2020 election. Oliver was one of 20 people arrested, the result of a new election security force championed by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to go after supposed voting fraud. But for those arrested, there's a ton of confusion as to why they were allowed to vote in the first place if they weren't eligible, especially in the context of a 2018 state constitutional amendment that restored voting rights to many individuals with felony convictions. Oliver says she registered to vote at the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. When she moved and changed her address, she registered again, obtaining voter ID cards. In both instances, Oliver has pleaded not guilty.
Wow. So who was actually supposed to, like, who was this law for? Like felons? Like this is non-violent? Or like what was?
Where I have a good video on this. Where the hell is it? Is it? Wait, I think it's this one. No, that's the one I just played. Damn it. I have something on this because freaking it's murder and something else. It's two of them that are exemptions, and they didn't put it on the form, so the people who did it didn't know. They didn't even let them know that if there was.
Is it their fault really? Like, is that real? Like,
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. It sounded like they was trapped. They got trapped, and that's entrapment.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find something. I'm searching. Because I swear, I think I was scrolling. I think that was on Instagram, but I thought I shared it. I'm searching it. YouTube right now. I don't see it. Freaking. I think we're just going to go into freaking Kanye, bro. Because, man.
One of the things that I just saw a picture of Abrams. What's her name?
Yeah, she's catching it. She's catching it right now for her comments. She didn't went viral. It's because of her comments about abortion.
It's ignorant. Bro, how stupid. I mean, like, are you like so stuck on trying to, and that's one of the problems I have is like, and I'm not even gonna I try to keep it off of the certain demographics or whatever, but it's ridiculous, bro. Like, they're so caught up on trying to do this whole abortion, so everything is a fit-all for abortion. Oh, you want to fix inflation? Well, get an abortion. Like,
I think it's political season. I'm not a fan of Stacey Abrams. Let me say this first. But it's political season.
And that's the right to be stupid, right?
No, they take those clips and pretty much make like a context, and make a narrative because, it got away from what she was really trying to say. Like it was. I'm gonna play it. It's right here. I have it.
Having children is why you're worried about your price for gas. It's why you're concerned about how much food costs. For women, this is not a reductive issue. You can't divorce being forced to carry an unwanted pregnancy from the economic realities of having a child.
Now, see,
And
that was
so
her
these
specific
are,
point.
it's important for us to have both and conversations. We don't have the luxury of reducing it or separating them out. Let's be clear. Having children is why you're worried about your price for gas. It's why you're concerned about how much food costs. For women, this is not a reductive issue. You can't divorce being forced to carry an unwanted pregnancy from the economic realities of having a child. And so these are, it's important for us to have both and conversations. We don't have the luxury of reducing it or separating them out. Let's be.
I think it came out bad. I think it came out bad.
No, that was her specific point. She look, and hey, A for effort, but she still gets a full F for stupidity and ignorance. Like, I mean, I don't think she's ignorant. I think that she thinks that we're ignorant, that we should fall for this bullshit narrative that she's putting out there. That okay, that the reason we can't afford, from February to now, the reason why we can't afford food and gas and shelter is because of a kid that we have or might have. Because I mean, obviously, or really that we might have, because she's talking about an abortion, not the ones that's living has been here already. It's not those, but you better believe that it's gonna be a problem coming. Like,
I think she's making the point, that it's a life decision. It's a real freaking.
Say, bro, look,
thousands of dollars you finna pay.
I hear you.
You're already paying a lot for gas and food. That's what she's saying. It's I'm already spending money. I can't really afford to raise this child.
Yeah, you like her. Like, for you to defend her to this extent when she clearly has taken the stance of screw all of y'all. Y'all ain't dumb enough to understand shit anyway. And I wouldn't want to see you have no kid, period. Because she don't have none. Nobody want to mate with her. You know what I'm saying? But however, say, bro, this is just blatant. I don't give a shit about you and your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to really help you, because I could put in a bill, whether it gets passed or not. I could put in a bill that regulates corporations from being able to raise prices any further than they have, and maybe to reduce them some. Like, nobody wants to talk about that kind of stuff that they can actually do. Some people are looking for some kind of magical thing that's just gonna happen. No, you work. You're senator. Like, do what senators are supposed to do. Go write a freaking bill that's gonna help protect the people. Protect the freaking corporation. Protect the people from the corporations, not the other way around.
Yeah, but that's like all the way off the point.
No, but no, it's not. Because see, we're talking about inflation, and because somebody's asking her about what solutions she has to fix inflation, and she's telling you to go get an abortion.
That's what they're saying. She's saying she's not really saying that.
Yes, I'm the idiot. I'm stupid. You're gonna try to make me. You're gonna try to treat me the same way that she did. It's telling me I didn't hear what I just heard.
It's political season. It's a clip. They take
I hear.
clips
I know
all
what
the time.
I know what season it is, bro. I don't care about that. I care about the shit that the people that's trying to sell me shit that I ain't buying.
Yeah. I think I think they're running with this and they're making it into something that is really not. This one,
I don't want the Kirby. I don't want the Kirby, Mr. Chaka.
this tweet right here, Kelly McNanny. She said, "Remember when the left told us abortion would be safe, legal, and rare? Now apparently it's an answer to inflation."
Oh, am I the I'm not the only one who took it that way. Oh, okay. Let's read some more. Let's see how offended other people are about it. The statements she just made, bro. Like this is like,
and it says abortion is not a solution to inflation. But I don't think that's what she was saying. This is Fox News. And because what I'm saying is it's a clip. You could grab a clip from what we say on this show and make it into something.
Bro, I know how that stuff can be done. I've gone through editing and I've seen the shit that they did to Trump when he was in office. I know how the shit works. You know what I'm saying? That's another one of the things that Kanye was talking about that I believe is true, is that he just didn't like Trump didn't have the media on his side, and they would pull BS and make it seem like he said things that he didn't say. So I mean I get it. I know how that can be manipulated, but she just clearly ran straight through explaining not once or twice, 3 times that, you know, if you're having trouble paying bills, buying food, buying, having a life, go kill your baby. Like before you know it, you're going to be able to abort a child after it's here living for a year, 2 years.
I don't think that they would. Nobody would be cool with that.
Shit. Okay.
That's murder. Let me play Farrakhan. I don't know if this is the clip that you sent me, but this clip popped up on my file on my timeline.
That have been charged with anti-Semitic behavior because they dared to utter a word of criticism against Jewish misbehavior and mislabeling. Let's take a look at who is anti-Semitic. I bet you won't even believe this. Booker T. Washington, the founder of Tuskegee University. W.E.B. Du Bois, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Yes, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the man that said anti-Semitism is a sin. You all referred to him at one point as an anti-Semite. Malcolm X, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, President Nelson Mandela, Bishop Desmond Tutu, Julian Bond, Kwame Ture, formerly known as Stokely Carmichael, Andrew Young, Kwesi Mfume, former member of Congress and former leader of the NAACP, the Reverends Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Joseph Lowry, the Nonviolent Coordinating Committee called SNCC, the Black Panthers, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, which was Mr. Garvey's movement, the Nation of Islam. But it doesn't stop there. They accuse Mahatma Gandhi of being an anti-Semite. Historian John Hope Franklin, historian J.A. Rogers, writer James Baldwin, Richard Wright, Julius Lester, Alice Walker, entertainer Michael Jackson, Spike Lee, Ice Cube, Arsenio Hall, Muhammad Ali, Public Enemy, Oprah Winfrey. This is just a few.
Damn.
Look at the great companies
That's
that
America's
Louis
sweetheart.
Farrakhan is in. You mean everybody body is a hater of the Jewish people. Stop it. Let us.
He say, stop it.
No, but see, but the biggest problem is, especially because I mean, these people that are speaking about, that's always accusing people of anti-Semitism are probably more anti-Semitism Semites than the people that they accuse. But for the average person, like, definitions matter. Like, like, you can look it up. Like, I mean, Google will tell you real quick if those people that they say that they are but are not. You can find real quick, because the definition will tell you flat out that it is Afro peoples, Afro peoples of Asiatic descent. And Asiatic, really was a term for the original people. And because Asia was the entire planet at one point. But however, even if you want to, like, there are black people with afros who are Semites. So when Kanye says, like, because he puts everybody in one, like, because I don't know, like, at this point, I would assume that, because I mean, everybody that's living now is somehow, attached to people who was here from the very beginning, somehow. So I mean, are we all together, whether you white, black, or whatever, is connected to those people, or nobody is? But however, by Kanye saying that, he can't, we can't be anti-Semites, is the reason why he's saying that is because we fit the description way more than the people who accuse people of being anti-Semites.
Let me read the caption. It says, so what you all have to say about those who's the minister's name? So my brother Ye is in good company, even with the minister is part of that company, APDTA. Another comment, it says, let's not forget recently Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah, they did. And Whoopi is Jewish, like, straight up. Right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody can lead themselves all the way back to Hebrews or, the Jews.
Well, no, when I say Jewish in that sense, it's, the cultural Jewish, they got the last name.
But that's the point that I'm getting. That's the part I'm getting to, because regardless of the name, because you can change your name to whatever you want. And you can, what I'm saying? So I don't know the history of her and her name, but the whole idea is more so that it's a religion. It comes from, Judaism. So, like, even back then, like there's a been an argument for a while that people in the past, instead of calling themselves black or African American or whatever, that they called themselves Moors. So regardless if you was a Christian, a Muslim, or a Jew, they were all Moors. I mean, what I'm saying, based on the, what I'm saying, like, it didn't matter. Like, they were Moorish Muslims, there was Moorish Jews, Moorish Christians. Most people don't really understand that, because now that's something that you are able to choose to be, because I mean, usually at birth, your parents have already, decided, so they know that from, childhood that they were connected to this religion. But, if the people who come from Abraham, regardless of what they chose as a belief system, they still have the same blood.
And that's where confusion is, because we're lost in these two things, because one of them is cultural, cultural religion that's like chosen or whatever by your parents, basically. And another one, like you said, on the other side, is something that you can't choose at all. It's just what it is. So but I think that a lot of us, that's why it's, you know. And then it was a funny thing that what's his name, the comedian, was saying. He was like, don't call us Jew, call us Jewish. And then it's like the thing with the Jewish, that's what I was saying, like maybe
Because
these
it's
are
like,
the two distinctions, right? So as far as like I'm practicing religion, you know,
well, I
I'm
mean,
practicing.
that's just like, to me, like the people, over time that the people that has been in Palestine, which is really what, because I mean, really, there's some kind of, because there's there was a guy that went to a museum here like in United States, where I think it's in St. Louis, where it showed Israel being here in America, but they tell us that Israel is over there in the Middle East or Africa or whatever we're gonna call that area, the Middle East, whatever they call it. But most people who know just current history, that since 1945, there's nothing ancient about this. 1945 is when this Israel came about, and they were placed there, giving them somewhere to be able to live. So I mean, when we look at this angle, because that's where most of these people kind of, they're all over the world, but this is one place that we, specify for these people to be, or this is their home. But the people
And
who were actually there,
and by its creation is automatically exclusionary. We was in class and we had discussion on Tuesday, that was yesterday. The white guy, he said the white supremacy, like the white is exclusionary by its, basis. You know what I mean? For its existence. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it defines itself as
redefines itself.
it defines itself as opposed to the other. You get what I'm saying? So it can't be inclusive because of its fucking nature. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but I mean, through our history, there's proof where, like right now, people that we call Arabs, somehow, I mean, it's just like we were just talking about the people in Palestine when back in 1945, when they started putting these people in the area that pretty much look like white people. They just come out of Germany. The people that supposedly that made it through this Holocaust that they claim happened, but nobody can really prove. But however, because you can't really even say nothing about it. Like you can become, you become an anti-Semite if you even do the research, or if you try to prove anything, you just got to take their word for everything. So, but however, they're like, well, how does a people leave one color, and now when they're coming back, they're totally not, like none of them look like what they look like when they left. And that's because like they've been stealing our identity for the last 400 or 500 years. You know what I'm saying? Like since the 1500s, they have been pretending, and that's the whole thing that people who are the truth matters to, because like I said, there's people who do not want to accept truth, because if they ever accept it or even entertain it, it will give up it will show their how much of a fraud they are. Because I mean, even the people that we say, like the Saudi Arabians that they call these Arabs and this, that, and the other, some of them might. It's a potential, because some of them are very, still have some, some hue left to them.
I just think all of that is a whole bunch of confusion. Like, I think that when it's perfect details to argue about, but think it gets away from, like, the reality on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to have some base freaking facts that pretty much everybody can agree on. Like, any rational minded being should be able to agree.
All right. Well, look, let's look at it this way, because a lot of the people that have the conversation now, like, just like anybody else, you can't really go back by blood to be able to figure this out, because they weren't doing DNA during those times to be able to lead you back to these people, or be able to take your blood and put it with theirs. But a lot of people are using the Bible as a way to mark who is who. And I think I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need to find a base. We need to find a base. We're gonna always be all over the place. If somebody's saying this, that, and the other, that's just a bunch of damn arguing and chaos. Like, what I'm saying is, when we talk about these things, we have to find those, bases that pretty much any rational mind can agree on. You know what I mean?
But people see, but that's the thing. Like, the people who gave this book to people, this is my opinion on it. Like, gave a group of people this book and almost pretty much forced it on them that this is the book you're gonna live by. And all the descriptions in it, even when they discuss what Jesus looks like, he looks like, had the skin, pretty much his feet look like brass that had been thrown in the fire, like it's a burnt brass. So this is talking about dark-skinned people who's got woolly hair. So, like, when you discuss who these Hebrews were, these Jews of that, this time, who they were and how you describe them, who you're going to start leading to believe that, who looks like that now? Who best fits that? But what I'm saying, what I'm
gonna say.
I
As
feel,
far as you go back, everybody, gets browner. And the thing is, this lightening up is really very recent in history. So it's like you don't have to go back very far, and pretty much everybody is brown.
Well, I mean, yeah, to some extent, but I mean, the people that who are not are the furthest away from being those original people. It's not just, what I'm saying, yeah, there's some mixing or whatever, because I mean, most people say, like, there's no true white people left in the world. These people, they have some melanin or whatever, but they, what I'm saying, but these are the people that are trying to argue with others that they can't be, but it's harder to prove that you are than it is for them. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
I think it'll be an argument forever. That's why it'd be pointless.
I get it, and like that's what, like, halfway. I don't know, because I mean, the way Kanye goes at this whole conversation.
Yeah,
because this is how we kind of started this whole
and that's
thing.
what I'm trying to get to right here. I got a clip right here. Let me play it.
All right.
Back up off of Nori. This is like he was giving a platform, right? Which no one does. There's no free thought anymore. Nori is a good guy. Like he said, he called me this morning. He said, maybe politics is a little bit too much for me. Everybody back up off of Nori. This is like he was giving a platform, right?
Because Nori's been catching it, especially from the people, because they pulled the video down. But I don't think it was his decision. I think that it was above him.
Man, look, Nori is, of course, that a lot of his stuff is done on YouTube, but he has, he's on the network that Puffy has, Revolt. They knew what they were getting into when they decided to let him on.
Because they're trying to make that money. That's what I was saying at the beginning. But they caught heat. They caught heat because of the stuff that he said in the interview. So they pulled it down. So it's like, he's catching it.
I get it. I mean, I know, and I don't feel for none of them, because I mean, you know, honestly, like these, we talking about grown people who like have some idea, like they knew, they like, just based on the last time that Kanye was on and the stuff that he said, like they knew it was gonna go viral and all this stuff. That's what really mattered. They was gonna get him a nice big check, just like when Boosie came on. Like he goes viral, they was gonna make a big check. So like that's what's really important. And I don't think they really care so much about the message that Ye had, because a lot of them really like the same. Everybody has has the same problem. Most people may not know who their problem is, but it's the same people. And Kanye just so happened to be bold enough to talk about them.
I really like this clip because it's him trying to shield some heat off of Nori, because Nori was catching it. So it's like y'all get off my man.
Well, yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, you know, some of them kind of pretend that they're not under the control of this, that, you know, what regardless of what you call, because some people say Illuminati and, you know, the Freemasons, like all this other, like it don't matter. Like if you are controlled, or you know somebody's got the power to green light you or red light you, you know, you should have thought about that beforehand, because that, you know, LeBron did a video with Kanye, and he just like, I'm not putting that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as I would like to help my brother Ye, or you know, this, that, and the third, he didn't put it out because he already knew he didn't want to have to deal with this.
Yeah. I think they canceled the interview. They never did the interview. So, but
no, they did it. They did the interview. The interview is done. They just never aired it.
That's freaking censorship. And freaking, you know that it probably wasn't LeBron's decision. It was probably somebody else. You know, this is big money.
It may have been, and I don't doubt that whoever the production, because you know, even though like LeBron could easily do it on his own funding or whatever, but there's people, you know, his handlers, as people would say, told him don't do it, and he didn't do it. I mean, he follows the advice of the people, which is probably a smart thing, but I think
I'm sure he don't own that. I'm sure that it's like, because it's too big. There's probably production company or whatever the hell. There's a boss that said nah.
I know that's but that's the same thing I'm saying. You talking about for LeBron?
Yeah,
most definitely. That's what I just said.
Yeah, somebody was like, nah, we're not doing that. And they may have been Jewish.
But they did possibly.
But either way, they're protecting them, and it's like, you know, there's this thing where it's like, you know, like you said, everybody's scared to say anything, you know.
Well, people don't want to look at the hardcore facts, is that our democracy is not a democracy anymore. What we call the Democratic Republic is not what it was. Like, there's the rights that we have, we're accepting the fact that they don't exist no more. Like we continue, like we get nervous and scared because what we call a democracy is just not. Like, if the people have the rights, like if the government is limited from taking rights from the people, but the people don't have, like, when they speak and this is what is necessary, or what they want to, you know, discuss or have this conversation about, and if somebody's telling you no, or I'm shutting the door on whatever it is that you're trying to do, that means they're able to tell you when you have a freedom and when you don't. So like that's our biggest problem, is that we don't realize that, you know, we don't have the same government that we had in the 80s or the you know, in previous times, like since the 2000s.
What if Trump had Kanye West as his vice VP running for president? You see, Kanye got that 2024 hat on, And it seems like in
Yeah.
this interview, he's just waving it around. This is
Well,
his apology interview.
yeah, I know. Like, I look, as much as I would like somebody from the hip hop community to be in a position to run and be president, it's not Kanye. And honestly, I really wish that, him flirting with the idea or trying to throw it around as if there's a possibility, nobody's going to support him. Not just because they don't want him to, but mostly a lot of them are too afraid to. And then he's, like,
Candace Owens'
it,
name
it,
has been thrown in there too, like that.
yeah.
So
Well, I really wish that that Kanye would take the power that he has and push someone else that has a chance.
what about Trump and Candace Owens as the VP?
No, she's hated as much. Like, she don't look. I'm gonna tell you like this here. I really want to pull Trump's name out of there, but I mean, even though, like, if
So what about
and the real
Candace Owens and Kanye West?
No, look, I've been thinking about this for a while. For the bill of I would say Ben Carson, because he's one of those, like, he really, I think he could really do the job. People will take him seriously. And then maybe, I don't know, like, I mean, the two conservative voices that I think that would really have a chance. I mean, DeSantis has somewhat of a chance, but he's, getting kind of tossed around with different things or whatever. Honestly, I would love to see Ben Carson be president with whoever he decides to be his VP.
Okay. Well, I don't think he got a shot. It's gonna be DeSantis, Abbott, and Trump. And Trump is the big boss, and he gonna smash DeSantis and
Yeah, because I mean, it's more of a popularity contest, but for somebody who actually has sound, like, I mean, actually, like, the smartest man on the freaking planet really is Ben. Well, I'm saying that he's the smartest person on the planet, but, like, this dude had, like, I mean, I've listened to different interviews that he did when he was going out, when he was the first time around. And it's just like people just wasn't paying attention, and especially when you get to, what was liberal platforms, like they try to make they try to make him, like they try to make him look bad or whatever. But with his comments, if you really listen to his comments, like, he was way up, like, too smart for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, I hear you, because what you're saying is probably, more realistic because of the popularity contest that it becomes, and them getting the time. Like, a lot of people still trust white skin over black, I guess, or brown skin.
But I could see them, because of the identity politics. Their VP on the Republican side is gonna be a black person. It's gonna be either a black woman or a black man. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. It's going to be Trump and a black person. That's why I was throwing those names out.
Well, I mean, Trump and Ben Carson, but not.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would.
He could take a VP spot.
I could. Yeah, no. I mean, I really believe that we just need people who are going to think things through, because I think there's a lot of people who have pre-planned agendas that has come in and.
But you're rational thinking, Pat. The voters out there are not.
Well,
they want somebody who's gonna get her done.
Well, I get it. I understand, but I mean, if they, like, the whole problem is, because, like, we kind of discussed this before, like, the people that we think are liberals, like, who we would normally support, are more more far right than the people who are supposed to be on the right.
Well, I can't argue with that in a lot of cases, because I would say that's true with the mainstream Democrats. Let me play this clip.
As racist as anything you say you've been. question for you is, do you now regret saying
I update
DEFCON
every
3
day.
on Jewish
update-
people? Are you sorry you said that?
No.
I don't think it matters. You should be.
Absolutely not.
You should be.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but yeah, you should be.
Absolutely not.
When you insult the Jewish people and say you're going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people, that is as racist as anything you say you've been through and any pain that you've experienced. It's the same thing. Racism is racism. And you know that, I think, don't you?
No, truth is truth.
Yeah, obviously. That's why I said it.
So you said it knowing it's racist?
Yes, I fought fire with fire.
Okay.
I'm not here to get hosed down.
At least that's
I'm a
honest.
different
Thank
type
you.
of freedom fighter.
Thank you,
You know,
Kanye. I love this.
I will say I'm sorry for the people that I hurt with the DEFCON, the confusion that I call. I feel like I cause hurt and confusion, and I'm sorry for the families of the people that had nothing to do with the trauma that I had been through, and that I use my platform where you say hurt people, and I was hurt.
Question for you is, do you now regret saying
I update
DEFCON
every
3
day.
on Jewish
update-
people? Are you sorry you said that?
Bro, what kind of
No, I think it
apology
matters.
is that?
You should be.
Absolutely not.
You should be.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but yeah, you should be.
Absolutely not.
When you insult the Jewish people and say you're going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people, that is as racist as anything you say you've been through and any pain that you've experienced. It's the same thing. Racism is racism. And you know that, I think, don't you?
Look at his face.
Yeah, obviously. That's why I said it.
So you said it knowing it's racist?
Yes.
Kanye is a man, bro.
Say, bro. Look, but no. See the thing about it is, you know, the people who really receive the most harm when they point out to the people who is behind a lot of the harm, because okay, maybe they don't do it specifically, but like he's telling you is like these people have the control, like, you know, if they know that they don't want a certain thing for their own people, why is it that they can go and collect billions of dollars on the very thing that they would not do themselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, it's crazy that, you know, we have to get here, because I mean, over time, you know, because I mean, this whole rap stuff has, you know, rap music, and, you know, where people are really like, just like, there's no standards to it at all, and it's just like promote, you know, because it's like it gives them what they want: black people killing each other, or some form of negativity that's being put out in the world. So it's like, you know, we know that you're the beginning of porn coming out in history, you know, in the past. You're part of a lot of, like, right now when we're talking about, you know, the you know, this, not just drill music, but gangster music, period, a death culture, and then like what you see, like what we call reality TV, but all these things that make us look bad is what you put the most money into. And it's like, you know, you're saying, well, this is what people watch, this is whatever, blah blah blah. But if you know that the average person really, you know, like, they haven't really given how much thought of the damage that it's creating, to where, you know, what's offered to them, if they would have continued getting the, you know, the Cosby Show, or I don't know, what's some other good shows that, you know, Living Single, you know, and that was still kind of maybe somewhat corrupted, because it's, you know, some of the ideas that's in it. But if you get, like, we would be entertained by good stuff as well, as much as we are this negative stuff. But
Yeah,
we get more,
did you hear-
more negative.
Did you hear about TikTok and how
The
you know,
Chinese,
yeah, they own it, and then it's a different version of TikTok that's here in the States than it is over there, and their algorithm pushes up them the TikToks that get the shares and likes are people like doing math and fucking making shit and creating shit and shit, like actually doing shit.
Yeah, over there, that's what they get. But here we get all of the, you know, because I mean, they look, say, bro, America, like our, you know, our media platforms will pay China for that kind of disruption. That, you know, to
And
yeah, to
I can't understate the destruction of TikTok and that little stupid dances. Like they don't even have no kind of like effort. There's nothing going on there. That's like it's the same dance every time. You just move
say,
their
bro,
arms around.
let me
Like
ask
that's
you
not.
this. I gotta ask this because I remember when I was a kid, and it was probably getting to a, you know, a rare thing even then. But cotillion balls are like a, you know, uh, what's it called when the kids go and like they have these, you know, they dress up, the kids goes in a suit, the girls come dress up in a nice pretty dress that flares and all this, that, and the other. Like they have these little things that prepare the kids for when they get older and how to act when they go out to do, you know, like how they interact with each other, you know. uh,
Etiquette
would you like to?
classes.
Well, not just the classes, but the actual balls that they had for these kids or even adults. Like, does it exist anymore?
Mm. Um. I
I
lost.
don't even hear about little girls going to ballet, and no, it's twerk classes or you know, like it's some crap.
Yeah. Freaking Kanye was killing me in that interview. He said, "Yes." He said, "You said that because it's racist." He was like, "Yeah, I know."
But I mean, but the thing is, you
That's
know,
why I said it.
do you regret, like the whole thing is, do you regret it? No, I mean, he may not regret it because this is actually opening up the conversation. This is what I actually intended more people to do, was to be able to discuss the problems, the real problems that we're having. And there's a group of people who are benefiting from other people's hurts. So it's like, okay, like when he was on Nori on the Drink Champs, and he's saying, you want me to really say some anti-Semitic stuff? It's like, I'm a FUB, and I'm a, you know, I'm a kill killer MF or something. I'm a blank with your B, and you know what I'm saying, like saying that stuff. And that's kind of like what in the raps, like we said, like that's the kind of stuff that gets promoted. Is like, that's anti-Semitism because for one, you know, in his, I'm just gonna assume in his mind, he, because I mean, you know, I've gone through those studies. I know that like a lot of those things that we're looking at, that like there's no real context to really for anybody to lead themselves directly to that. You know what I'm saying? It like there's no proof, as far as I'm concerned. There's no proof that leads any, even the people who claim to be. It doesn't even lead them to. But it's okay for them to say it. But when, you know, somebody else takes the same stance and says, no, we're the people, then it's a problem. But no matter how, you know, like who it is, like it's crazy that we're missing the point. Most people are missing the point because they get hung up on one thing, the distractions that was meant to, you know, because like some of the stuff, like he said so much stuff within a 3-hour period, but there's one or two things that people latch on to, and everything else was just a bust, or like they didn't get anything out of the rest of the video, which is insane to me. But that's selective. Like people really, like that's what we do. We grab little things that we can be upset about and hang on to that instead of finding the good things within what he said, and let's work with that. But no, like we're everybody, no, black, white, mixed, like everybody is grabbing onto the negative part and try to, you know, demonize him instead of saying, all right, yeah, all right, look, Kanye, I look, this stuff I believe is insane. I don't deal with that. But you said this. What do you know what I'm saying? What can we do as a human family to make this right? What you know what I'm saying? What do the people, how can we help to make this thing right? No, they rather fight with him because he is totally against the narrative, the agenda that they have been building on, which is pretty much undermining our government, coming up with bullshit that's gonna eliminate laws that we're able to choose for ourselves, and they can force whatever they want on us. They already got a new constitution written up, ready to go for that time period when they get it close enough to that day. And we're too stupid to realize it as a people.
Let me play this.
In the Jewish community, you cannot say what you want to say about them and think that it's going to be okay. It seems as if the Jewish community is very clear that they don't allow harmful speech toward their community by any means. It's not acceptable. So the question is, why is it so acceptable for us as Black people to be denigrated, to be disrespected? Why is it okay for rappers to talk about killing other Black men? Why is it okay for rappers to call Black women bitches and hoes and thoughts? Why is it okay for BET to promote over-sexualized women and then on a commercial break promote HIV pills? Why is it okay for us to have music about alcohol and then the alcohol be on the corners in our community? Why is that okay for us to constantly be disrespected? Nobody gets canceled when they're talking and belittling Black people. Nobody gets canceled when they're talking about slavery being a choice. Nobody gets canceled when they're talking about niggas. But something about our community that has deemed that acceptable, deemed it okay. Why is it okay for our pain to be profitable? But anytime you're discussing something about another community, there's an immediate cease and desist. Why is that okay? Tell me.
She's making the same argument that that Kanye is making. In a different form. I mean, hers is a lot shorter, but this is the same thing that Kanye is talking about. It's like, because he went through the whole thing. He's jealous of the Jewish people because they marriages stay together. He's jealous, what I'm saying? He went through all these different things that he would like to see happening with the Black community is, like pretty much in that same realm. Like, we really all should be fighting for the same thing, but at this point in the world, like, if they don't have somebody to exploit, then there's no world to live in. There's no such thing. Like, they can't even imagine. And these very same people, that they see how they want themselves and what they're not going to accept for other people, exploit the fact that they've been able to get away. Because I mean, most Black people don't like it. I mean, we have different generations that end up promoting it and pushing it, and once they get old enough and they realize the harm it does, they stop. So I mean, but the cycle keeps continuing, and we got to find at some point be able to turn it around. And honestly, I really feel like that's what Kanye is really trying to do, but nobody listens when you just say it. You got to piss people off in this day and age for them to even stop and even have a conversation with you about having some order in the world. Like, there has to be you have to have like a traumatic event for people, like for them to even stop to even ask you, or trying to get you to apologize for some shit that, well, if you would have just listened to me 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago about all these different things that's been going on to this group of people, and if you really cared about why, what I'm saying, I would have never disrespected you and your people for nothing because I wouldn't have to. But that's the only way you listen is when I start acting crazy. Like I'm bipolar right now because of the shit that I deal with in this world that you've created.
I got one more clip that's Kanye related before we move on. Y'all check it out.
This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. I want to share this video right here with you of Drink Champ Nori beg and plead with his apologies because he feared that he would lose his so-called platform and the money he receives because he interviewed Kanye and Kanye revealed some things about his thoughts of who the Jews are and the Jewish people are. Nick Cannon was canceled by several entities out there, and he came back to apologize. I'm going to explain why they apologized, but yet when the media was saying that they were spreading hate, I'm going to tell you what the hate really was. Listen to this video, and I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, with the darker Jews, the 12 lost tribes of Israel, who we are, because we Jewish also. We're from Africa also. We're the blood of Christ. So we're not just black. We are Jew, just like the Jewish people. These secrets they not finna be a secret no more. Like if somebody tells me something, it's like, yo, I want to tell you this, but it's a secret. I'm like, I'm not your personal hard drive. Like if you want to be a secret, don't tell me. I'm not here to keep nobody's secrets because it's only the truth that's going to set us free.
If we were truly the children of Israel, and we're defining who the Jewish people are, because I feel like if we actually can understand that construct, then we can see that there is no hate involved. When we talk about the lies, the deceit, how the fake dollar controls all of this, then maybe we can get to the reason why they wanted to silence you, why they wanted to silence Minister Farrakhan, and they want to throw that we are having hate speech when it's never hate speech, when it's not. You can't be anti-Semitic when the Semitic, when we are the Semitic people, when we are the same people that who they want to be, that's our birthright. Let's go to what it really is then. When we talk about the power of melanated people, when we talk about who we really are as guys and understanding that our melanin is so powerful and it connects us in a way that the reason why they fear black, the reason why they fear is because the lack that they have of it. So then when you see what, Dr. Francis C. Welsing talked about is that fear and that genetic annihilation deficiency of when you have a person that has the lack of pigment, the lack of melanin, that they know that they will be annihilated. So therefore, however they got the power, they have the lack of compassion. That melanin comes with compassion. Melanin comes with soul, that we call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us. So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm gonna say this carefully, are a little less. And where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate them. So then they're acting out of fear, they're acting out of low self-esteem, they're acting out of a deficiency. The true children of Israel, if we're speaking of the Jewish community, if we're speaking of the Abrahamic faith that Islam comes from, that Judaism comes from, that Christianity comes from, all comes from Abraham. And we are all speaking of brotherhood and unity. Why is this division? Why is it such a problem? Why is there so much fear, specifically in the black community, in the Jewish community? And I'm kind of, this is a leading question, which I want to get to, but why is it such a problem to speak the truth?
All right,
What do you
hold
think?
on.
Let me tell you.
Why is it such a problem to speak the truth? That's what he ended with.
Well, because for one, they're living on this whole idea of that's going on in the Bible and who has inherited the world from God, the Almighty, the Creator. So if they have to share that with people that they hate or that they despise, like that's the last thing that they want to do. Because I mean, I like I said, I mean, at this point in my life, you know, I really like that whole thing. I don't think, you know, because yes, your genealogy and all that stuff matters for personal reasons, but us as human beings that's living on the planet right now, like we shouldn't be in a competition to try to match up to somebody like we would be agreeing to what like a monarch where, you know, there's one big king and everybody else pretty much is, you know, just peasants or just, you know, however the king tries to sort you throughout the kingdom or the empire.
Yeah, let me
So,
measure your melanin.
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we could do that, but I mean, I don't think it really makes sense. Like, I mean, right now, but this is what they're doing. The people that's talking shit about Kanye and got everybody attacking Kanye or even attacked Nick Cannon when he had his thing. These same people are they're pushing this and making everybody, you know, because you hardly see those people really come out on TV and say anything. But because of their hand that they put, they are pushing like they paying everybody else that's getting out here and checking you about what you just said about they daddy or they boss, they
And that's
whoever
what
is paying.
it reveals. That's what it reveals. It reveals the power structure there, because what other community has the power to be able to do that?
Exactly. And but that, I mean, that's, you know, but because of that very structure that, because I mean that's the whole thing. Like most people not realizing all of the key parts, the molecular structure that's built into this whole idea that Kanye is fighting is because he knows that, I mean, at the top, like, yeah, he don't have somebody he can come and smack around and slap up because they're hidden. They're not going to come out and actually talk to him. They're going to send their minions to come and chastise him and make him feel small and try to take him down and do, you know, everything to try to destroy him without them ever saying anything to him directly. So he knows that like he has to do certain things just to get the attention. And then like right now, you know, he's going on a momentum. Like that's like he done started it now. All right, y'all want to talk. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna keep saying different little things here and there
And
that
he's
hopefully
definitely sparked the conversation because they keep interviewing him and shit. So it's going across the nation. Like I was gonna say, man, he could run for
the
politics
nation.
totally after this. The world. He could definitely run
Yeah.
He could definitely run for an office after
Well,
this.
I mean, he can run for office. Um, and I mean, this is my. I mean, you know, like I said, I mean, if he could do it, more power to him. If he makes it through, you know what? I will vote for him. I love I love the fact because I mean, he's actually almost like the Jesus figure. Like what he's doing is Christ-like. You can't really see it, but he's the one. Like he's really going up against all the odds. He's pretty much sacrificing himself in order for us to even have a chance at changing the dynamics in which we live. Nobody else is doing that. So like I give him utmost respect for, because I mean I think like he get, you know, by him being such an artist, his the way he speaks is not, you know, he doesn't have a real articulate voice, but if you're really looking to find the good in it, you can. But if you're only looking for the negative or the bad, that's all you. I mean that, but that's, I mean that's human nature. You're gonna find more of what you're looking for. If you're looking for trouble, that's what you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna see, and that's. But if you're looking for the good out of it, you'll find most of that. So, and most of our world is corrupt. The best people that we know, like they getting corrupted buy the ideas that people, you know, they pay too much attention to the, you know, the news, the media, instead of constructively really piecing these things together. And it's like, what is the intent? You know what I'm saying? Let's start there. What is the intent? Yes, all right, you made some mistakes about all kind of stuff that you said. I've been there. I know what it feels like. But at the same time, it's just like me trying to explain that one little thing. It's like, okay, well, what about this? Can we go to this instead? You know what I'm saying? Instead of talking about all my faults, let's talk about some of the good things that I've done. You know what I'm saying? And that's what us as humans are forgetting. We're like so quick to get on this whole, you know, I'm a part of this team, so you don't, you know, there's no way that I can go against the rest of my team because of this one thing that you said. But he said 1,000 other things that was good. You know, he might have said 5 things that are wrong, but he had 200 things that he said that was good. You're
Yeah,
not gonna.
and these basic truths is because we're so sensitive, we're so soft, we're so outraged.
We're under control. We're like, and I'm saying we, because you know, I look, you know, maybe I'll fall into that from time to time because you know I get into an uproar, but after I sit back and I think, I can reel myself back into, like, you know, really kind of putting things into perspective, that, you know, asking myself questions of what matters, what makes sense, you know, what can we make of this now for at this point. You know, you know, yes, I am rational, you know, with my thinking, where other people get caught up in the emotion of all of this. And you know, shit, it's almost like they want his blood.
But
Like,
being a polarizing figure is perfect in the United States because it's a whole bunch of people that's, like you said, gonna be looking at him like Jesus. It's a lot of people really like him, and it's crazy because the media, like I compared him to Trump at the beginning of the video, because the same thing they did to Trump, they're doing to him. And what the media don't understand is that, like, just because y'all are making fun of him and calling him crazy, those people that's sitting down on their couch watching this shit on TV, they listening to shit Kanye saying, and they like, wait, hold on. wait. They said he crazy. Wait. What was that he just said? You know what I mean?
he ain't as crazy as they trying to say you know, because he's not articulatable. You know, he doesn't know how to articulate all of the things that's going on in his mind.
Yeah, I think that's one of his problems. That's
why
why
that's a big problem.
His
for
mind
him
be going 1,000 times a minute, and he just be spurting shit out. It just be sputtering out. Yeah, I think so.
But he does say enough smart things that, as long as you are, if that's, like I said, if that's the source you're pulling from, you can get more out of it. But if you're just, if you know, because of the way most people are programmed, is that when, you know, they like just the idea that he's even on TV, because some people like are really jealous and angry, like they just get just totally angry because they are limited in their understanding about things. They're not quite as studied, because guess what? He said some stuff about his father, his dad, his, you know, his biological father, that, you know, shoot, he's like, my dad is probably like the smartest person I know. So, like, even though like I said, his brain works and knows all the things that he wants to express, but in the heat of the moment, trying to, you know, live TV and dealing this, somebody asks you a question, like, you know,
yeah, he's off scripting. It's off script. That's the thing, you know. He freestyling out of his mind. And so that's it though. So like I say, he's gonna resonate with a lot of people, even though the media is spreading it around and like they're making fun of him. Shit, it's gonna backlash on their ass. Like I say, everything is the opposite. We live in the opposite.
Say, bro, Kanye is not no hateful person, bro. Like the whole, like, I mean, if you really want to be honest with yourself, you know, it's saying to the people, like, if y'all really want to be honest with yourself, y'all know Kanye, you know, yeah, he been dealing with some things. You know, he's angry about stuff, just like most of us are angry about things that's happening in the world around us. And you know, he's in a position where he can try to be effective, and he's not one of y'all that's gonna waste the you know, an opportunity to make things better for everybody.
Yeah, I think he's definitely driving the conversation, and I like the conversations that we're having because, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, it's like revelations, man. You know, some people gonna feel like it's the end of the world, but it's just like revealing. You know what I mean? A revealing of reality. This blind spot that you've been having this whole time.
Yeah, and some people might wake up, because I mean, that's the thing, you know, because I mean, the way some people see in the Bible when they talk about the 144,000, you know, I mean, I know the real meaning to that, but I mean, you know, like they said, like the righteous will be able to make it through the needle, the eye of the needle, where most people will, you know, take the wide open highway. You know what I'm saying? So it's like very few people gonna really get it, and you know, the holy books have been telling us these things, because I mean, I don't look at this, you know, the Bible as, you know, I see it with a bunch of allegory stories that's meant to teach us big ideas. So, you know, and to learn principles on how to treat each other. So, but you know, I think when you take it too literal is why we end up in the problems that we have worldwide, is because, you know, if you're going to try to meet the expectations, every word that's in there, like, bro, like just imagine how insane it would be to, you know, go to throw stones at somebody till they die. I mean, there's no way we would do that right now, right? Not logically, but
There's a bunch of stuff in there like that people are taking literally.
I know, but that's, bro, like, we need to, that's why the truth matters. See, that whole reason right there is why the truth matters, is because if we learn these books the way that they were intended, and not trying to make, you know, really make ourselves look like these people that's in the book, or trying to, you know, like, we can compare to some extent, but because, you know, we're actually trying to identify our lineage based on the people in this book, that this is truly an ancient book that people were drawing from in, you know, I guess, which if you might call recent history, because, you know, like, it's
insane. That's a crazy argument that no one would ever win. You know, everyone loses that argument because nothing gets done while you're arguing about that. Meanwhile, somebody is settler colonialism. I saw a video about Ireland that I didn't know. I might go into that. Like, they said that was the only place in Europe that was settler colonialized. You know? Damn, they use it on their own people. But anyways, Ireland is a long ass story. But anyways, I want to go to these crabs, bro. Did you hear about the crabs? Because it's looking like we ain't gonna have no crabs, or they're gonna be expensive as hell this season in the next foreseeable future. So there goes another inflation. Them crab legs. No, it's a real thing though. Have you heard about it?
Well, I think
I'm joking, but it's serious.
I think I've seen some of it. I don't recall, because I mean, you know, honestly, like, there's, you know, I've been doing some you know, work on different things where I'm totally shutting myself off from the world, and then, you know, when I get back inside, I grasp whatever it is that, you know.
Well, I kind of like scan the news, and it'd be certain stories that jump out to me, and this was one of them. That's why I really want to cover this.
Well, you know what? Silly, but based on what you've said so far, makes me feel like, because I mean, you know, we all getting scammed right now, and we're just sitting back like little bitchs
Well,
and
this ain't gonna be a
letting them.
scam. This one is the crabs aren't there. They canceled the fucking season for the first time like ever. Let me play this.
The big question is, where are the crabs? Wildlife experts say 1 billion snow crabs are missing. That's a whopping 90% drop in the crab population there. As a result, snow crab season has been canceled in Alaska for the first time ever. Researchers say disease may have played a role or climate change. They noted that Alaska is the fastest warming state, losing billions of tons of ice, which is critical for the cold water that snow crabs need. And Larry, I know you know a thing or two about Alaska. Have you had any of the snow crabs there? What's it like?
I haven't had any of the snow crabs. I've had a lot of the salmon there, and bison as well.
I don't care about what you ate, bro. The freaking crabs
But the
are
food
missing.
the food that he's talking about, what he has is more essential than freaking crabs, because the salmon and the bison actually has real minerals and vitamins.
Maybe that's what his point was. Like, I don't eat
that's
ocean,
all I like. That's my
ocean
whole, like,
roaches.
well, and yeah, I mean, that's one way to look at that, because that's, you know, it's really not really the best thing for us anyway. So I mean, you know, hey, that's like, let's not get caught up on stuff that, you know, really isn't the best for us. Let's focus on something that is good, you know, for us, you know, not just to us, but for us. So, you know.
Yeah. So, but you know, a lot of people love to eat crab. So
Yeah, no, I'm
and
gonna tell you, say, bro, when I want crab, and then, you know, if I'm, you know, I'm around whoever I'm around, I'm gonna get enough for everybody, because you ain't about to get in my little plate. You know, they usually only, if you get a plate, you only get like 2 of them or whatever. So if I'm gonna eat them and I'm around other people, I go spend $200 quick and go get enough for everybody, and just shit, ball out, you know, grub out. But, you know,
but it
at
also the reason why I really covered this is because it also is showing like changes. It's showing, you know, the effects of what's happening.
Well, I mean, because I'm gonna tell you, like, because I mean, I don't really have, you know, really all the info, but I'm already looking at, like, that's almost a thing that they're doing with it, you know, with everything else, like supply and demand. And, you know, okay, if it's just not available at all, but do we know that for certain?
Nah, yeah, they don't have no power over this. The crab is missing.
Well, I'm just saying, do we know that for certain? I'm asking a specific question, like, have you gone crabbing?
No, I haven't, but they got videos.
Generation fisherman joining me live from
Oh,
Kodiak,
wait a minute, hold on.
Alaska.
Videos
We
is the
appreciate you
proof?
making-
I mean, I mean, let's take some of this back, because just like how you were saying, what people do with the videos to, you know, that people can make things look one way when it's really another.
Yeah, but they canceled the damn whole ass crab season. They make a whole bunch of money off of that. They would not do that just cause. They
Yes,
do
they
that
would. They
because
make a whole bunch of money off of everything.
They can't sell no crab that they don't have.
But see, that's the whole idea. You're missing my point. My point is to make things more expensive. They set you up early so that when they do get some, you already kind of really expecting to pay more than the $8, $9 that, you know, you would when, you know, season is strong, and then maybe way above what you might, you know, when it's starting to get down to that $12, $13 a pound, shit, it might actually be 20. So when they're setting you up and you getting your mind ready, it's like, for people who really love crab and want crab, they're preparing them to pay extreme prices when they just so happen to come back into season again.
I don't think they're gonna come back. That's what they're saying. Not no time soon. It may be canceled for years because they don't know where the crab went.
Right, maybe that's good for all of us, because I mean, like you said, it's sea roaches.
Yeah, so like I say though, but the reason why I covered it is because they really like cold water. Like it's like -1 degrees. I think they
Yeah,
played it in this video right here because it's not just they talked about the snow crab. There's the king crab and there's the another one.
the blue crab.
No, the blue crabs are fine. It's these are these big crabs and they really like really cold water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, let me play some of this. Let me play some.
Alaska, where their king and snow crab seasons have been canceled because of what
King and snow
biologists
crab.
say is a population collapse. So now we want to bring in Gabriel Prout. He's a third-generation fisherman joining me live from Kodiak, Alaska. Gabriel, we appreciate you making the time for us. Canceling something like this seems like it could have an enormous impact. What does it mean for you and your family business?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks for having me here. Tremendous impact, not just for my family, my brothers, and my father as well. We're 50% owners in our family vessel, so it's a family operation, but it's a tremendous impact on the industry in general. We have about 60 vessels that fish in the Bering Sea, snow crab and king crab fisheries each year. So each and every one of those are going to have families affected, children, not to mention the communities where they deliver the crab and the taxes they get from delivering it there, the processors and all the just crew members are going to be greatly affected from this collapse and closure of the snow crab that no one really knows for sure why happened.
I'm sure that all the people that made this decision know that impact, and I'm wondering, it doesn't. I'm sure it doesn't come out of nowhere, Gabriel. Have you noticed a drastic change, maybe in the population over the past several years or more?
Trevor, in 2016, 17, and 18, we were having a tremendous number of small crab come into the fishery. And so that would hypothetically translate into major years of high harvest levels. Something a little different happened in the years of 2018, 2019, 2020, when we went out to the Bering Sea to fish in those waters, that it was unusually warm. Scientists are saying that has probably something to do with it. What? They're not exactly sure. Did those crab did they run up further north to reach that colder water? Did they have a mass die-off? We're not exactly sure what happened, but it was an unusually warm year in 2018, 2019, 2020, leading up to this collapse.
Drastic measure, to be sure. And I would imagine it's also not one that could be sustained for quite a long time. Are they giving you any guidance if you were to just take maybe this year off, that next year you'd be right back at it full speed, or are they taking it 1 year at a time?
No, right now, this is looking to be, I mean, the crab don't just magically come back. You're going to have those small levels of new crab coming into the fishery. Right now, we're working with state and federal levels for some type of immediate financial relief. We're really at risk of losing our small business owners and our second and third generation fishermen if we don't have some type of a financial bridge to really weather us through this storm. We're really looking down the barrel of a very, very difficult upcoming set of not just this year, but years in the making, because it's going to take a while for those crab to come back.
Do you think you can survive this?
Not without any type of financial help, either from the state level.
So that's kind of like a whole industry that might be gone.
Yeah, that's the part that I guess I would concern myself more with, because I mean, me, when the question is like, okay, well, you might not be able to eat them, I'm just like, oh well, all right, fuck it. But when you look at it from a standpoint of this is people this is what they make their living from, you got more of my attention now. You know what I'm saying? So, because I mean, I know what it feels like. Like I'm somewhat going through that a little bit myself. Like the whole logistics side of America is slowing down so much. There's and of course we're dealing with supply and demand issues as far as people, like there's more trucks than there are loads in certain areas. And that way, like they don't really pay so much for the loads because there's so many trucks to the competition. But for them, like I mean, no crabs, no business at all. Like, I mean, shit, they even if they scrape up a few, like, it's not gonna be enough. Because
They're gonna have to fish for something else if they're gonna stay fishing. So,
yeah, well,
maybe they can
that
fish for squid, or I don't know.
Well, shrimp, other fish, maybe like getting into the salmon, getting into like something, whatever it is that they can get into. But I'm sure there's other people that's already into those markets and well prepared to do that. That's their, what they've been doing. Because like I said, I mean, when you really look at it, these are generations. They just mentioned, like, it's just generation to generation. This is something that they hand down from, like how we used to be with farming. Like, that's what they do.
And it also showing a difference in the climate change and pretty much how the world is changing. I'm sure those crabs will be fine.
No, they're gonna come. They're gonna come. Like, I think that they're gonna come back, because I mean, the world, like, at some point, it might be some years before that it really comes back, and they might be able to come up with a few here and there or whatever. But because it's gonna be the ice age is gonna have to take place somewhere else at some point. It's melting in one place, but it's gonna end up building up somewhere else. That's just a part of the way Earth, our world works. So I mean, we're going through a time right now that's seems to be somewhat tough, but if we focus on the wrong things, like, shoot, a lot of us are not gonna be here. I mean, and not because somebody killed you off in a world with nuclear weapons. It's gonna be because you're too caught up in one way of seeing the world, instead of taking it more into your own hands. Because it's nobody's real responsibility but your own. Overall, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shit, the water get warm, things gonna be changed. Shit, and then we overfishing. He mentioned that in the thing, overfishing. We're gonna be eating squid.
Well, see, and I think that's one of the things where when we put so much control into the government and their responsibility, parts of their responsibilities is to make sure that they're providing enough food for everybody. That's where it gets tainted, because if we're all more concerned with let's say our own communities, like locally, and what's because I mean, we really should be eating the food in within our own communities. That's the way that we become healthier human beings, is because if we do that, then we would be better off as a whole. And then, like, I don't know, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, because I mean, when you really look at everything over time, like, we've gotten so used to doing it the way that what we've been seeing since I was a kid to now, and reimagining the world for what's here to come is still kind of confusing. It's still
because we've been colonized. We've got this colonized mind. And there's so much confusion as a result. I want to play one clip for you before we go. It's on a different subject. Check it.
In Ohio, you didn't know they tore a mound down. My friend, we didn't just tear one sacred mound down in Ohio. We tore down, plowed over, or built over thousands of mounds and earthworks in Ohio. Many people don't realize that Ohio was, and still is, home to the largest concentration of prehistoric landscape architecture anywhere in the world. And many of those sacred earthworks were located in places where Europeans chose to build our cities. So they were removed or built on top of. This is certainly true in the case of cities like Marietta, where some of those earthworks were even used to make the bricks that were later used to build homes and even churches. Circleville was built around and on top of a mound complex. Even Columbus was built on and around a mound complex. That's how Mound Street got its name. In fact, in the early 1800s, there was a massive mound at the intersection of High Street and Mound Street. It was 40 feet tall and approximately 300 feet wide. But in the 1830s, it was decided that the population had grown to the point that mound needed to be removed. And the clay from that mound was used to make bricks that was used to build the first Ohio State House, which later burnt to the ground. So yes, it would make you didn't know they tore a mound.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I know a lot about these things, the history of of America. But yeah, I know that a lot of like Ohio, like there's places all over all over the United States where mounds were. That I mean, there's still some mounds that exist, but Ohio, I know, like, was it Powhatan? Like that's like the big chief, like the I guess like what we would say the what you call it, the almost like the president of the United States, like the top chief. I think the last few they lived in the Ohio area. So I mean, but it was a metropolis. Like we had a bunch of like, just like how, you know, we see now, like we had big thriving cities that existed forever. So I mean, yeah, it's a lot of rich stuff that's going on, but you got to get really deep into, because I mean, I honestly, like before I really start going all, because I mean, I do want to do like some traveling out around the world, but like I really want to be able to experience a lot of the stuff that's going on right here in America, like know the place underneath my feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a lot of rich culture that we don't get taught about, because like if they teach us, then you know it'll be something for us to actually to really be able to re-identify ourselves with.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like one of the things that I guess it took for me a long time to really understand. But the real Confederates were the Indians, were the, you know, the Aboriginal people that was, you know, that's been here, and you know because I mean we had those Indian nations, and then we had one that was operating worldwide, you know, on an international level. So when they had the Continental Congress and the Confederacy was the Indians, and somehow, you know, the people in the South, and that's where a lot of us lived, was in the South, especially the Southeast, that really ran stuff, you know, across, you know, this country. But a lot of us don't know that, because that was some of the things that they really did not want us to really understand, because that would, like I said, reunite us with our own, you know, home, you know, like this being our home. We're supposed to be from Africa. So if they teach us that stuff, then, you know, everything that they've tried to teach us would, you know, we would find out on our own that it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm gonna have to wrap it too, bro.
All right, man. Well, it was a good show. I mean, I don't, you know, not sure what direction we're going in tonight, but you know.
Yeah, tomorrow my the stuff that's left over, like the stuff I sent you and some of the stuff you sent me, because I saw something that I wanted to talk about. I don't want to say it now because then we could probably end up talking about it. But
No, that's cool. Yeah, I know. You know, I can, you know, I don't know. I can still, I keep, sometimes I forget because sometimes I'll send it to you in the text message and also in the messenger because you said that's the easiest way for you to pull it up.
Yeah.
But if there's anything that I need to resend, let me know what it is and I can try to go back and pull it up and
All right, man.
do that. But yeah, man, I'm going to bed. I gotta
get up too.
Yeah, I got about 500 miles to try to do before 3 o'clock, 3 p.m.
All right, man. Peace and love. Thank y'all for
Peace.
joining. Thank y'all for listening.
Peace and love, everyone.
Yeah, have a good one.
Continue with the support. We appreciate those who have gotten involved with the movement, and we continue bringing you this hot funk.
All right, man.
We this is a place where the truth matters, you know.
Yeah.
But
all right, man.
Till next time.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.